Hello, Southwestern. It is your friendly neighborhood career counselor, Mrs. Berkebile, coming to you today from our auditorium. It's a little tricky to find quiet places to record these days. I'm sure you can understand. Today in career coaching, we are talking about post-secondary options. And if you're following along with me in your fifth period class, then you can have open the post-secondary assignment, which you'll find in your graduating year Canvas course. If you have that assignment open, you'll see that I'm defining a lot of the words that you have to define, and by the end of this video, you'll be almost done with the assignment. So let's get started. Post-secondary, well, what does that mean to begin with? Post meaning after, and secondary is high school. If you think of elementary school as your primary grades, secondary school as your higher level grades. So post secondary just means what are you doing after high school? What comes next? And for every high school student, we want to help you think about that and plan for that. And one of the first steps is just to educate yourself about your options. The first option is just to get a job and get trained on the job. Some of you have already done this. If you work at a restaurant, at fast food, at a retail location, they trained you on the job. They taught you how to use the cash register. They taught you the closing procedures. If in the summer you work with a family member or neighbor doing landscaping or roofing, they taught you the skills that you need. If you take up an office job, they might teach you their program, their system. So there are summertime jobs that high school students get, but there are also adult full-time jobs that don't require any particular degree after high school. They just train you on the job. If you are a quick learner, they might train you on the higher task and a higher task, and that's how you move up the ladder. There are more formal training methods after high school, though. One of them is an apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is a full-time job. You are hired by this company, but they're also putting you through a formal training program that can last several years. So in things like manufacturing, as we see here, or auto technician, plumber, electrician, actually a lot of things in the power industry, solar, wind, outdoor power lines, and also carpentry. There are a ton of apprenticeships in the trades, in hands-on careers. And again, this is a full-time job that you get after high school, and you are hired by the company, you're getting paid, you're getting benefits, but they're also putting you through their training program, working closely so that you can progress in your craft and that eventually you become a full employee, a journeyman, or an expert in the field. So again, apprenticeship is competitive, but so it's not just something anybody can get. If you think to yourself, oh, I'll get an apprenticeship after high school, please don't think of it that way. You have to be strong in a lot of skills, and you have to fight through a lot of competition to earn an apprenticeship. They don't just hand them to you. A next level of training that some of you might be familiar with is community colleges. A community college is usually local to your area. You see here two of our most local, HAC, Harrisburg Area Community College, and Carroll Community College in Maryland. Community colleges offer a wide range of degrees. They offer certificates, associate's degrees. They also just offer enrichment classes to the community. They offer transfer options. You can start at a community college and take some classes and then transfer to a different type of college. They also offer dual enrollment classes for high school students. So a community college offers a wide variety of different types of programs and different types of degrees, which we'll talk more about in a minute. But you can think of a community college as a great place to locally and for a lower cost get started in a number of areas. And it's great to research our local community colleges and see just what kind of programs they offer. Another type of school is a trade or technical school. These types of schools, as you can see listed here, we have many in our area. Thaddeus Stevens is in Lancaster. Universal Tech has a campus closer to Philly. Penn College of Technology is a little farther north. YTI has several campuses. The Culinary Institute. These are the type of schools that are very specific. They are studying a very particular trade or technical area. It might be welding. It might be cooking. It might be advanced manufacturing. It might be CAD. There are tons of different kinds of programs at all of these different schools, but they are very career focused, and you are specifically learning a trade or technical degree. A professional certificate. This can get a little confusing for some students. These are short-term programs, usually could be just a couple of weeks up to a couple of months. You get very specific training in a professional area, and at the end, you often have to take a test. You see here some examples. A CDL is a certificate. A commercial driver's license is a professional certificate. You do have to take classes, but you're not going to school for years and years more. You take those classes, you take the CDL exam, And if you pass, you have your CDL, which makes you able to be hired by a lot of companies that need CDL drivers. In the medical field, there are quite a few different professional certificates, things like becoming an EMT or a paramedic. You're not getting a full degree at a college, but you're getting a very specific professional certificate with some testing at the end to become perhaps a medical assistant or a home health aide or an EMT. CompTIA, as you see there are a world of certificates in the world of computing. So CompTIA has a ton of different types of certificates in all the world of computer programming, networking, security, IT. There are a ton of those kind of professional certificates that you can actually do while you're still in high school to make you more marketable for the future. OSHA is an example of a certificate you might get in a construction or hands-on field. It's a safety and training certificate that your employer might make you get before they start you on the job. These types of certificates, sometimes you have to do them so that you can work on a job site, things like a CDL or an OSHA. Obviously, if you want to be a home health aide or an EMT, you have to take those. Other times you might add a certificate later because you just want to get up to a higher level job or you want to switch jobs after a degree. So professional certificates are something that you might look into throughout your life, not just as a path right out of high school. You can get these professional certificates from community colleges or sometimes just from local community organizations that are offering classes. A more formal type of degree is an associate's degree. This usually takes 2 years. They are given at community colleges, trade schools, and even some four-year college will have associate's degree programs that you could attend. You see here some examples of really high demand jobs that only require these 2-year associate's degrees. There's a lot in the medical field. Things like ultrasound technician, radiologist, diagnostic medical sonography, vet tech, dental hygienist. So there are a ton of different medical careers that can require a shorter degree that a lot of people don't realize. And it can be good to look into if you think you want a medical career, but maybe some of the higher levels science classes make you a little nervous or you're not so sure if you can handle that high level of like nursing school. Look into 2-year degrees in medical. There's also a lot of 2-year degrees in the world of CAD, which is computer aided drafting, and the construction world, they have some 2-year degrees in design and computers, IT technicians. Also, the far bottom corner there, you see air traffic control is actually a 2-year degree. So as you start to research associate's degrees, you'll realize there are a lot of careers that are really high paying, very lucrative, very interesting, but they do only require a 2-year degree. And the more you research, the more you can find what type of careers those might be. A bachelor's degree is the next level up after an associate's. It requires 4 years, and there are 150 different institutions that give bachelor's degrees in Pennsylvania alone. You see a smattering here on your screen, but you've heard of many of these. You've heard of others. I couldn't possibly get 150 on the screen. These colleges offer bachelor's degrees in a number of areas, and researching what type of degree, what type of major, what type of career I could get, there's plenty of time in high school to jump on the websites of all of these schools and dig in deeper to learn about the types of careers you can get with a bachelor's degree, 4-year degree. There are some careers that require more than a bachelor's degree, though, an advanced degree called a master's degree, which is usually 2 additional years. And some of you may know that there's also college degrees that go beyond that. If you have to go to medical school or even law school, sometimes it's more than 2 years. But Penn State Dickinson School of Law, for example, people who get their MBA, Master's in Business Administration, a higher level business degree. MSW is the Master's in Social Work. And for example, Messiah University has a whole school of graduate and professional studies. A lot of those colleges you saw on the last screen that give 4-year degrees will also have some graduate programs, as they call them, which means they're giving master's degrees, these additional 2-year degrees. Again, you want to do your research. Does the career you want require a master's degree? School counselor requires a master's degree. So if you want to be one, then you know you've got your path laid out for you. You need a bachelor's degree first and then 2 more years to get your master's. But if you are looking at a career that doesn't require a master's degree, let's say a lot of engineering, many engineering careers require a bachelor's only, and there's not really a need to go on for your master's at first. And you can get a very good, strong, in-demand, high-paying job with just a bachelor's degree, which is for engineering, which is why you need to do your homework. Of course, there's also the military pathway. We never want to overlook that. The 5 main branches, the Air Force, Navy, Marines, Army, and Coast Guard that we traditionally think of course, options for all students. You can get high level training, but you also have to be ready for that military lifestyle. So it's an important decision. There's also things like the National Guard, the reserves, and the Space Force. So there's many different options within the military pathways. Some students might enlist, some might look at ROTC programs, officer training programs through combining college and the military, or even those elite military academies, which is a very, very few people that can get into those type of schools. But still, we always want to mention that that is a viable pathway for many of our students if that's the right choice for them. And discussing that with your family is really important. That was the really fast overview of post-secondary options. Your next step, if you're in a career coaching this semester, in this period, is to find out a little bit more about careers at all of these different levels. You're going to go to My Next Move. It's linked in your assignment. And you're going to go to this particular part where they have the careers sorted by job preparation. And they have these different zones. Zone 1 is little or no preparation needed. You can get this job right out of high school. The whole way down to Zone 5, which is extensive preparation. You probably need a master's degree or a doctorate. So go to that website, look through each zone, each of the 5 zones, and find 1 or 2 careers there that seem interesting to you and record them on your assignment. Then pick just one of those careers to dive a little bit deeper and answer the questions in your assignment about that one career. The whole point of doing this is to educate yourself about your options. You don't have to know what career you want. You don't have to feel sure. You can be a little bit lost. You're young. It's okay. But even while you're lost, you should be educating yourself. What are the types of jobs out there? What type of education do I need for them? And understanding the different levels. If I read somewhere that this job requires an associate's degree, do I even know what that means? Well, now you do. Now you know an associate's degree is a 2-year degree. And if you read about a career that says, oh, you can have a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree for this career, you can understand the difference and make a choice about what's right for you. Because that's what this is all about. What's right for you. But you can't decide if you don't understand the options. So educate yourself, finish up your assignment. You got this, Southwestern. Have a great day.